Hello everybody, welcome to your Aquarian blast off reading or Aquarian launch reading. I'm not sure which I called that for this week of January 21st, 2018. So I feel like today, I'm recording this on January 20th, and it's like a double whammy Aquarian energy because remember, we're in an 11 year with 2018. All those digits add up to 11. And 11 is the inspirational teacher. And it's the first of the mastery numbers. And this indication, along with a particular reading that I did for a client, indicated to me that we are firmly in the what's known as the Aquarian age. And I meant to bring my phone out here and play for you a little Age of Aquarius by the Fifth Dimension, one of my personal favorites since I was a child. And it's this, the Aquarian age, it comes about, a new age comes about every 2,160 years. So to say this is big is it's a big understatement. We just moved out of Pisces, and this Aquarian age, it's why I wore my silly hat today with my little pigtails. It's about your weirdness. It is about, I'm keeping it light here with you because there's also a part of an Aquarius energy that can be so incredibly eccentric that you can't even relate. You can't even understand what a really true, very, very deep Aquarian, sometimes you can't understand what they're saying. And it's why I probably will stumble over some of my words here because that's the way the energy is. It's where it's like the connections in your brain and your intuition are really, they're coming together. That's the glyph it's known as the water bearer, and it's two waves. That's what the glyph looks like. And it's really the best of your mental capacity in your body partnered with your greater expanded consciousness. That's the age that we're in. And it's why we have explosions like with the internet. That's all was leading up to this final, really true first step into the Age of Aquarius. And I feel like this year is it. We're really taking a solid step and closing the door on the Age of Pisces. And the Age of Pisces was really more focused on looking outside of ourselves for enlightenment, for what makes us grander, what is meaning, what gives us deeper meaning. And instead, now it's about you embracing your uniqueness, like my silly little hat here, to bring forward new solutions and to have fun in the process of inventing. It's like becoming the chemist in the lab. You're putting together new combinations of things, new offerings, that all of it is based on what brings you joy and what excites the passion within you. So not only is 2018 that really, I think, firm footing, knowing that we're in the Age of Aquarius now, but also today, January 20th, is the sun has moved into Aquarius. And so I just think this is a stellar day on every level, both micro and macro. And again, I'm going to encourage you to really think about what Aquarian energy is. And if you're interested in delving into what your particular Aquarian energy is kind of focused on in your natal chart of your astrology, then I'll include the link both in the Facebook description as well as the YouTube description below this video. If you want to order a special reading with me that's fairly low cost, it's delivered as a private video for you, where I delve into defining more about what your Aquarian energy looks like and what that Aquarius really speaks to, what makes us special, what makes us stand out, And when we think so much about, I was really contemplating kids as our son is growing up. He's 15 now. He'll be 16 this summer, ready to learn to drive and all of that. And he's at a stage in his life where he seems to have found his tribe. And I was really thinking about this with kids, and when they go through high school, particularly like middle school, that 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they're really trying to find the group that they're part of. And so they do a lot of testing out of, oh, I don't know, yeah, that doesn't feel right. And I try sports, but I'm not really one of those people either. Maybe they try music, and now, they're trying to figure out where they fit. And I was really thinking about the movie The Breakfast Club. And really that defines some major archetypes that have been long-standing. And we even see them in our adult world, where we have kind of what I call the beautiful people, which is the Molly Ringwald character and the jock guy. I'm not remembering his name. Emilio Estevez, I think. And then there's sort of the oddball types, if you will. I call them the fringe. And my son is in that category, where either they're like super smart or they're band geeks. That's what I was in school, a music geek. Or just, kind of oddball out there, like the Ali Sheedy character. And then you have like the renegades who just are they're breaking all the rules. They don't care. Like, they won't be boxed in. It's a level of freedom that is so inspiring to them. And they actually go up against anybody who wants to put them down or make them small. And that's that. I think it's Judd Nelson who's that character. So I just was thinking a lot about this, and it's coming up here because Aquarian energy is celebrating all of those archetypes and then some. It is where I see kids get to as they go through into high school and they find their tribe, and then they feel so comfortable, generally speaking here, being part of a tribe in high school, and then they go to college and it's like all of a sudden they are a little fish in an ocean. And for most people, it's like you can be anybody you want to be. As an adult, I equate this to the first time my husband and I went to Vegas. You can be anybody you want to be in Vegas. Like, you could totally drop your persona for a few days and just be, dress, talk, drink, not drink, eat, not eat, whatever you want to be. You can totally define it. And that big ocean feeling is what I want to give you the vibe of for this Aquarian energy. It is being whatever makes you feel free, whatever makes you feel like the inventor in the lab, that you have something very special to offer here. And the Aquarian age is going to call us all to try to find what that is. And that's what your astrological chart can help to kind of give you a rough idea of where that is without giving you specifics, because you have the free will to develop your life however you wish. But it's helpful to kind of have what I just called for in a client's reading, like a floodlight, which your natal chart offers you. It's like a big light that is shown in a certain area to just give you a general idea of what area to look towards for your Aquarian energy. And then it's really up to you as an individual to do the self-introspection work while you're out in the world and experiencing things and knowing that what makes Aquarius so amazing, one of my top 3 signs that I love the most, is that it is so ingenious. It is about your ingenuity. It is about your creation. And an undercurrent of Aquarian energy also is the fact that the solutions tend to be win-win all around for everybody. That's why it's the glyph is the 2 waves of energy, because As you do things to lift your spirit and make you feel more alive and free and happy, joyous, by embracing your uniqueness, you automatically seem to do that for others. Others will be inspired to follow their own path and to awaken to their opportunities. And then you have these amazing opportunities that come up where sometimes you partner with other people. And that's key to Aquarian energy, is partnership. I'm just beginning to dip my toe in the water with one of my gal friends who's part of this intuitive group that I'm part of here on this planet, and we're thinking about a little partnership of, the magic of her creations that she does with sculpture, with my ability to tap into the energy through the astrology. And so, it's the best of both worlds, and we create and offer more depth for you or for whoever wants to take part in that kind of a project than one of us working alone. And I'd love to set up more of these partnerships with people like healers or other card readers or anybody who does intuitive type work, to offer deeper meaning for people, because I think that's what we're all looking for. And definitely with Aquarius energy, it's like delving into what makes you unique and what brings you the grounding that you need in order to have the courage to be this wild and crazy little nutty self that we all have within us. And these win-win situations that I'm talking about, or the partnership projects like I mentioned, the whole point of them is to a deep love of helping humanity, a deep desire to be of service in some way that makes people feel more hopeful, more inspired, more passionate than a feeling of lack or a feeling of loss or grief or not enough or sorrow, or needing to surrender all of who they are, or having a dark night of the soul, or life doesn't quite have to be that hard. When we get into Scorpio season, we can talk about that. But Aquarius doesn't really want to go there. Aquarius just wants to create and to embrace unique opportunities to present something that is a win for all of us and makes us feel good and gives us all, above all, a greater sense of freedom to be who we are, right in the moment. Okay? So, of course, our symbol for this week, our Sabian symbol, has to be Aquarius 1. And it reads, an adobe mission in California. And it's really funny because I just did a reading for another client today. And this was on her main symbol that we were talking about. So I was looking up what an adobe mission looks like, because I can't say that I had something in my head specifically. And it reminds me kind of the Alamo, or it's that adobe architecture. So it's very decorative on the top of the roof line. And it's brilliant. The pictures I was seeing were brilliant white. And so these essentially were like churches that were built in these areas. And California I was getting this sense of like the land of milk and honey, the land of undiscovered treasures. It's where they went, for the gold and everything, the gold rush. And so the feeling that I got, I'll read you what Dane Rudyard in his book, how he talks about this symbol. He says, the power inherent in all great humans works to endure for beyond the worker's lifespans. Let me read that again. See, the Aquarian energy, it's like my brain is going like this, and out here it's not always clear. Let me make sure I read this right. The power inherent in all great human humans works to endure for beyond the worker's lifespan. And what that really means, when I was tapping into it, is you're part of the Age of Aquarius. You came here for this day. This day. It's a special thing to be here at the dawning of a new age, the start of a new age. I can't even say the dawning. We're in it. We're seeing the sunrise and the sunset every day now in the Age of Aquarius. And you chose to be here for that. There's some big doings going on in the world. Hello, welcoming of a new age. We're seeing things we've never seen before. Talk about uniqueness. And it's like nothing, you get to a point where nothing can shock you. Can you see how that's actually feeding into the Aquarian energy, where it gives us all kind of some authority to be able to be who we really want to be? Maybe you really want to deliver local weather forecasts. Maybe you really want to be doing intuitive readings. Maybe you really want to work with animals on a daily basis in some form. Maybe you want to take up horseback riding. Like, it doesn't all have to be about work. It's whatever interests you, whatever lights you up. So the thing is, with this symbol, what is the legacy that you're going to leave when your time here is done? You came here to help move an age. You're ushering in the age. You're living the Age of Aquarius. So what is going to be your legacy? And more specifically, what that means is, how are you going to inspire others as you inspire yourself from within? Remember the two waves of the glyph of Aquarius. Your energy, your output, is just as important as what you offer to others and what they pick up on. It's almost like the energy has to be fed through you. It's like you live the energy and then it manifests and then it is. But the build-up before the manifestation of what happens is really the exciting part. It's the build-up. It's the preparation. It's the getting the details in order. That's really living the energy, which the Age of Aquarius sort of asks us to kind of do some testing. Again, it's the chemist in the lab. You're like the alchemist. You're testing out these concepts. And for God's sake, will you please, please be weird? I am giving you a cat note, a cat astro note, saying, I demand that you be weird. All days of the year, every day, bring your weirdness out, that uniqueness. That's what's going to be coming forward, okay? So the cards are going to speak to, again, this is a general reading, and even when I do individual readings, I'm not going to be giving you exact answers of this is it. That's the beauty of being human. And that's the beauty of you being the chemist in the lab with this Aquarian energy. You get to test it out, but I am giving a very, very broad, floodlight, like the one we've got out here in our backyard. It floods light over the whole of the landscape back here in the nighttime. And that's the best that I can do for a general reading, is to just give you an idea of what that could be. And then it's up to you to have the fun of discovering, so what's my secret sauce on this subject? And you might find yourself going down a rat hole, like trying to figure this out. And that's the fun of it, is you allow your intuition to guide you on, okay, this came out in Kat's message, and then you start thinking about that more, and then before you know it, in the course of your day, somebody's mentioning this, and then someone's mentioning that, and it all has to do with this subject. and you start getting curious, and then you look up, like, what does that mean? Or this is the beauty of why the internet was invented under the Age of Aquarius. It was invented to support this effort of people getting inspiration and quick information to get things firing off even faster. It's very fast energy with Aquarius. So you have to kind of pay attention. You have to remember as to what is crossing your path every day, and what connections can you put together. What common things do you see happening in the course of one day? Do you see that, have you heard the same word 3 or 4 times from different people? Have you heard the mention of books or events or whatever that are on a certain kind of topic, or around healing, or around learning to be a plumber, or the value of being a plumber? But it's whatever it is for you. I can't possibly figure, not even for an individual reading. Again, the best I can do is this floodlight, because the beauty is in your diving deep to figure it out. And I would never, ever want to take that away from you. That's why I'm excited about this energy, and why it's one of my favorites. It's like, all right, I'm putting on my lab coat, and I'm going in the lab, and I'm going to do a little mixing and a little testing, and occasionally there might be a little blow up, but occasionally I might really strike gold. And that's this Adobe mission. The Adobe mission speaks to an inspiration. It's like a church type building in the land of milk and honey, in the land of undiscovered gold and treasure that California once stood for. There's no mistake in the details here. And so, where can you offer that inspiration? That, to me, is what the Adobe mission is about your unique inspiration that allows you to see the world in a whole different way, as Aquarius does. Okay, so let's get on with the reading and see where this goes to. The first card up is from the Rider Waite deck that I have. It's called the Radiant Tarot, because the colors are more vivid. And you have a Major Arcana card here. This is Justice. Now this card speaks to the energy of Libra in astrology. So your uniqueness, your weirdness. I like using the word weird instead of unique, because that's really what it is. And it's turning that word around in order to turn your world around. So Justice speaks to really being able to walk into any situation, converse with any person or group of people, or receive news of any kind, or have events happening in your work life or home life. Essentially any person, any event, any situation, you have a unique ability to be able to bring a sense of balance and harmony. And that's what Libra is about, and particularly in relation to other people, particularly with relationships. And remember, like in the astrological chart, that descendant point is the part that kicks off the 7th house, which is relationships with the closest people in your life. And that is where that's where the soul gets the experience it came to have. If we were on an island all by ourselves, the chances are that we wouldn't survive quite as long, and it sure as heck wouldn't be as interesting as all of the interaction we have with others, including animals. So there's something there. There's something very unique. What could it be for you? How is it that you are a harmonizer? How is it that you seem to balance the scales? When people fly off, you somehow are able to bring an energy that brings the balance back in again. Or, how do you present points of view that take the charge and I want to use the word sting, out of the really venomous things that people say every single day of their lives. We all do it. We all do it. But I feel like there is a loving, harmonious part of you that somehow discharges that in a way. It's like you take all of the gunpowder out of the gun. You allow them to have, the joy of the setup and everything and the aiming, but not the loud report and a piercing. There's a softening there. And there's just an equilibrium that you're able to maintain. So just be aware. That's what all these messages are about this week. Be aware of how you act as a harmonizer, how you are able to balance energies, how are you able to balance situations. This is what you came here to help with for the Aquarian age. This is the legacy that you will leave. This is a fun-loving reading, and I want you to laugh because I want it to be silly, like Aquarius, with my silly hat. I love this hat. But it's also serious. We're talking about legacy here. And it's like every day kind of matters. How are you really contributing to being that balancing force? And in the Justice card, this figure is holding a sword. And that sword speaks to the element of air. It's about fairness in mentality, in how you process, in how you perceive things too. Might there be ways that you will see this year, this mastery year, in balancing your perception of how you see things? You might not see them the way that you always have. You might actually see them as opposite, or certainly from a different viewpoint, where you assume innocent intent. You assume that people are doing the best that they can. Everything can shift on a dime when we change our foundation of what we believe to be true. And that's what that sword in this card speaks to, is your belief in things. Because your belief is your bedrock. It's how you choose then to make decisions about your life, and how my team has been saying the power's in the perception. What if you did start to see that everything is truly well-meaning, from where that person is at? They must obviously feel that that's the best option. And you can start to feel right from that statement that there's a new level of compassion that comes up. But overall, I would say it's about harmonizing, and it's about finding more balance in your own life and being aware of maintaining balance. And Saturn has just moved into its home sign of Capricorn just recently, and it'll be there till the year 2020. And these are major years in this age of Aquarius, because literally we're moving to the place of 2020, where we get a lot clearer vision by the time we reach that year. And it's in large part because of Saturn, that is the great taskmaster, and the one who really is the most interested in integrity and just showing up and doing your job here, and showing up and doing your job in whatever setting you find yourself in, and avoiding needing to fix everybody else. It's really about you, and it calls us to get really serious and dedicated to our work on all levels, in all parts of our lives. Okay, the second card is from the Soul Coaching deck. This is kind of a softer deck, and you have inspiration. Oh boy. So in this year of the inspirational teacher, You, my friend, there's definitely a teacher element to this. The card itself reads, I am receiving divine inspiration right now. You really need to be becoming more aware of what is crossing your path, what is leading you, what is tugging at you. I was just saying, I know I keep referencing client readings today, but it's all tying in here. I was saying with one client that it's like people who are called to the priesthood or to be a minister. And that speaks to our adobe mission symbol. People who have that, it's called a calling. It's literally like a magnet is embedded in your heart. And it's just tugging you. You can't ignore it if you try, and you keep getting signs and messages and, sometimes direct orders from real people right here on the earth saying, you really need to go into counseling. Meaning you need to study counseling or become a counselor of some sort. And you have to remember to remember. Aquarius is calling you to bring a deeper level of awareness to what happens in your day. I am receiving divine inspiration right now. This is about bringing more meaning to your day. This is about seeing that there are things, there are messages, there are signs, and there are angels on this earth in live living form who are giving you breadcrumbs to your greatest inspiration and therefore how you inspire others. What I see with this card, she's up on the mountaintop there, and to me, she's looking through this sort of telescope-like device, I think. And it's that you have access, we all do, but what this is pointing to is you, who chose this card. You have this access to this higher frames of knowledge. I'm literally seeing it as frames, like quick camera shots. And certainly that can be your intuitive gifts, like clairaudience or clairvoyance. But it's also that you realize, or you're going to come to realize, especially this year, that there are larger cycles playing out. The planetary actions in the sky and the aspects they make to one another and how that matches up against your astrological chart, that's real deal stuff. I mean, look at how the moon affects the tides. You can't argue with that. Just watch what the ocean does when there's one of these supermoons, super full moon. So it's the fact that you begin to realize that there's more to life than just what is right in front of you. The inspiration is coming to you right now, and it's because you're accessing other levels of information. And that is really knocking on your door this year and wanting you to awaken to the fact that there's way more than whatever weather you wake up to for the day. Like, who cares that it's raining for the 8th day in a row? Like, you start to not care about that. I want to call it more mundane stuff. It just doesn't really matter, because then you start getting entranced by all of the signs and symbols and messages. And like I say, if somebody's mentioning the same word or the same concept for the 4th time in one day, or over the course of the week, you keep hearing a regular theme of something, might be time to start looking into something on that subject. Like, this is where your day becomes magical. And your higher self's pointing this out through me, because the legacy that you're going to leave when your time is done here is that you will have been truly the embodiment of an inspirational teacher. And that can be in whatever form. Maybe you really are a teacher by trade, like you actually teach students. Or maybe it simply is through your behavior and things that you offer to people either one-on-one or in groups, or, you know, if there's a group of people, friends or something, and they're really complaining about something, and then you decide that you're going to bring up a whole other way to look at it because you followed your intuition on that, and they just step back and go, wow, I never thought about it that way. That's being an inspirational teacher, and that is just as important as somebody whose life work is to teach children to read, or to be, a minister, or any of these traditional teacher types that we think of. You become an inspirational teacher even one-on-one, and even in small groups doing fun things, or in your work setting, and just inspiring new thought. That's really what you're here to help with. And that will be the legacy that you leave. And it speaks directly to how are you going to inspire others. It's because she's looking through the telescope. She's seeing, the deal is she's seeing energy. She's seeing a picture that is much, much bigger and more complex, but more divine and perfect than whatever we see right in this moment. Because right in this moment, we set the energy up for ourselves probably who knows how long back. We've already set the energy up. It's like when people want me to work with their animals and they have a physical problem, I actually say to them, I could offer some comfort for the animal, but I can't fix it because it's already manifested. So your inspiration is going to serve you in helping you to line up the energy that you need in order to manifest what it is that you want down the line. For me, with animals, I'm much more interested in working to find out what emotionally they've got going on, and if we could clear some of that and literally clear the air between the owner, rider, whatever it is, and their horse or dog or cat, or whatever type of animal it is, there's an emotional clearing here so that we interrupt the pattern before another physical problem ends up manifesting, because there's a blockage of energy. That's what I'm more interested in. So it's the same for this kind of message. It's focusing on that inspirational picture and really taking a look at what is crossing your path, and perhaps you could adopt or consider playing with a belief that everything that crosses your path is here to help you, is here to be that floodlight, is here. And actually for you, unlike my readings, it's more than a floodlight. It becomes your personal breadcrumbs to find your way along your sacred path in this 11 year. And it's going to be wacky as hell. I'm not going to lie to you. It's Aquarius, man. This is crazy land here. This is weirdness. So it might be something that you've never ever contemplated before. And suddenly it's like your every thought is devoted to it. But that's what makes it so exciting. And that's how you'll know this is your time. This is your wish. This is your inspiration. And as you embrace that, then you share with all of us, and we all benefit. Just beautiful. All right, our last card is from the Angel Tarot deck by Doreen Virtue. Oh gosh, you have the Nine of Water. This is an absolutely beautiful card. This would be known in the Tarot as the Nine of Cups. And it is, your wishes come true, concerns fade away, a love of life. Wow. This is the legacy you're here to bring. Wishes come true. You are in this tribe with me of the fairy godmothers. When I think about being so weird and silly, what I think of is being a fairy godmother. I have a wand from when I was probably 7, and we went to Santa's Village here in New Hampshire. And I should have brought it out with me. It's a little wooden wand. It's got my name on it. and it's got a glittery star at the end of it. It's really just simple, but there was no toy in my childhood that I adored more than that wand. And it's because, and I literally used to play fairy godmother with some of my mother's friends from teaching, and still to this day, when I think about being weird, I think about being a fairy godmother. And that's the energy that I carry. And I really work it into a lot of my readings and things. And when people come to have sessions with me, I like focusing on your wishes. And you're the same way. So I'm pretty sure that this is my card. But it's like, it's a belief that that wishes can come true. It's like you're in Disney every day. And it's amazing when you're there, like every staff member always ends their conversation with you by saying, have a magical day. You know, by the end of the week, you're kind of sick of hearing it, but it's like you live that Disney life every day. I'm coming to this. I can't say that I'm there yet, but that's the beauty of it. It is the becoming. It is the honing of the giant diamond that you are, that has all these facets and colors to be able to show, by really believing that dreams come true. I mean, this is Aquarian big time. Silly, weird. Like, well, how does that apply when I'm an adult? For God's sakes, I'm going to be 48 years old this year. What are we talking about, fairy godmothers? Like, what? But I've honestly never believed in anything more in my life. I really do believe that dreams come true. I've made it happen in my life, in my work, in my business, in my health, in my house, in my husband, my child, like everything. Everything. And so this is the thing with Aquarius is really challenging old beliefs that you have that are no longer serving you, that don't bring forward that uniqueness. And challenging yourself too to think about, what are my dreams? Can I allow myself to expand enough to actually dream? Can I set dreams? Like, could I follow the moon cycles and actually like make something happen? It's too much for our mental brain to think about, but that's what's magical about Aquarius is it's the two waves, it's not only your brain in your body, it is also your higher consciousness, which is nothing except magical. That is where all possibility exists. But it has everything to do with your perception of how you look at your life. And if you believe that dreams come true, do you believe that magic can happen to you? Do you believe that you are a keeper of the magical keys? That was my other thing when I was a child. My favorite book was The Magic Key. I still have it. It's in there with the wand in my office. I believe that we all have the magic key, but it takes courage, and Aquarius offers you the energy to be courageous in embracing your weirdness. It offers you that. And it's okay, you can come be weird with me. It's okay to dream, and it's okay even to speak about those dreams in front of other people. Sure, you might start out with some people you trust, but here I am talking to people on YouTube I've never met, and I likely will never meet. I have people who listen who live in Australia and the UK, and I'm just so honored, and I'm honored to sit here and tell you that I'm a fairy godmother, even though I'm about to be 48 years old. So it's just opening your mind up. Aquarians are the very best of the whole zodiac about opening up to new lands, They're not afraid to really walk that line of potential silliness, of just potentially being revealed as being the weirdo that they really are. They're not afraid of that, and it pays off if there is true belief in there. That's the key. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. A love of life. And in the card, the mermaid, who is depicted actually as Doreen Virtue, she has all of these cups. 9 cups that are brimming with treasures. It is like there's just the joy of building and building and building more and more and more of what you love. In whatever form that is, it doesn't have to be just money or material things. It's the fact that you know that you can fulfill your own wishes. And the beauty is in the building of those dreams, the building of the vision of them, and being able to tweak. And then as the momentum gets going, they manifest. And then you're on to the next dream. It's a dream factory. There we go, everybody. It's a powerful day. It's a fun day. It's a weird day. So get out your hat or your craziness and be weird with me. We're going to be in the Weirdos Club together for at least another month. But actually, we'll be doing it for about the next 2,100 years. So just strap yourself in and be prepared to launch, because this is an exciting time. It's new connections, new solutions, and new options overall. I look forward to seeing what yours are, because then you spark all the rest of us into new ideas and dreams as well. Take care, and I'll see you next week.